Hey guys, today I have something truly unique on the Steam Deck, a horror game called Lost in Vivo. It was created by just one person, Akuma Kira, which is incredible, and he did an amazing job with it. The game is about searching for your dog, who gets lost in the sewers. As you go deeper, you explore various corridors, pipes, caves, subway station, and other places that create a strong sense of claustrophobia, which is core of the game, along with its excellent and terrifying audio design. This game isn't your typical horror filled with jump scares around every corner. Instead, it slowly and deeply builds atmosphere and sense of unease. The game also has a simple retro-style aesthetic. Inspired by old-school graphics, you won't find many complex mechanics here. It's basically about exploring a maze and solving simple puzzles. But why do I think this game is genius? It's important to realize that when you are a solo developer, you have to think about the game in completely different way than when you're working in the team. I'm a beginner solo game dev myself, and I really admire Kira, because I know how incredibly time-consuming it is to build even a small piece of a map. Not to mention creating events and mechanics. And that's why most horror games made by solo developers can be finished in under 1 hour. While it might seem like lazy or a rushed job, the truth is that even the small part of the game likely took them months or even years to make. And that's what makes Lost in Vivo unique. Its playtime is around 5 hours, maybe even more, which is incredible for a game made by just one developer. That's the kind of play you expect from older games made by full team like the first Spider-Man on PS1. How is this possible, and how did Kira manage it? First of all, as a solo developer, you have to be as creative as possible. You can't afford complex mechanics, but the game still has to work. That's why many elements are made simple: hand animation, enemy AI, empty corridors and spaces with few details. This design is simple on purpose, not because Kira couldn't do better, but because these things are an essential core gameplay. You might hear of the Pareto principle, which says 80% of result come from 20% of the effort, and this game is a perfect example of that. The most important 20% that makes up 80% of the game are the claustrophobic atmosphere, the sense of mystery, and the brilliant crafted sound and background music. The reason I think you should play Lost in Vivo is that you experience a terrifying journey created almost entirely by one person. To be fair, the soundtrack and sound design involve more people, but most of the game is the work of single developer. The game runs great on the Steam Deck and cost only 10 euros on Steam. The only possible issue is that after entering the servers, you might not hear any sound. You can quickly fix this by slightly moving the volume slider in the settings. Even if already set correctly, just move it a bit and the sound should work. Let me know in the comments what do you think about horror games made by solo developers, and I really appreciate if you are subscribed, and take care.